Hello everybody, my name is Amy. This is Mimi Stitchery. If you are back seeing me again, thanks for coming back, welcome. If you are new here, welcome. My subscriber count continues to go up steady but sure, so I know there's some new people here, so welcome along. Today is Sunday, April 16th, and this is take two, which is okay. I haven't had to do a take two in a while. We're going to do take two today because the first one was really kind of had a lot of interruptions. I wasn't going to do a Flosstube today. I had been chit-chatting back and forth with Gail from Gail's Golden Needle. If you are not watching her, you should be. So head on over there. Sorry, I have a hair in my mouth. I wasn't going to do one because I didn't feel like I had a lot to show. And then it got to the point where who cares, right? If it's only 20 minutes long, it's only 20 minutes long. Back here, you will see my robe for my master's graduation. If you've been along here for a while, you know I have been pursuing my master's degree in nursing education. I have exactly 7 days left of content to finish. And then I will graduate, go to my ceremony on May 10th. So I didn't have my robe hanging here. I had it hanging somewhere else, and my husband thought it was safer hanging here, ready to go. So I'm excited about that. If you've been part of this channel, you know that that's been something I've been pursuing for the last 2.5 years. It seems kind of surreal that it's almost done. And I say an awful lot, so sorry about that. It feels good. It feels good to be almost done. I am finding myself a little tired these days, working hard. I just said again. So I'm just trying to focus to get the rest of that master's work finished. So I'm hoping this week that is done. This is a channel primarily about cross stitch. I do have knitting to show today. Sometimes I have sewing. Do not have any sewing and have not had sewing for a little bit now. But I do have a little bit of knitting. I have an Afghan I've been trying to meet some weekly goals on, and so far so good, and we're in April, so that's good. Stitching, you know what, today I'm not even going to talk plans because I never stick to the plans I say, and lately it's been stitch on what I want and what I feel like, and I'll explain to you what I stitched on this week and where it went. And I'm just going to continue stitching on what I want to stitch on, because if it falls into a category, that's great. If it doesn't, that's great too, because I'm pretty happy with my crafting this week. Today I have a finish. I have a finish for now. I have a couple, three WIPs, then a knitting WIP. And I have a solution that I came up with for one of my WIPs. So let's start with the finish. The finish is the bear. If you've found me on Instagram, I'm also Mimi Stitchery there. I finished the bear from Cottage Garden Samplings. This is stitched on 40 count Earl Grey, 1/2. This fabric is from Grace Notes Fabrics. And my plan was to stitch all the spring animals on this fabric. That was the plan. And then we started the eagle. And I'll show you about that in a minute. But let's just look at him, shall we? He came out super good. I enjoyed this stitch. I enjoy all of them. I do get to the point with all... Oh, I just shook the camera. Sorry. I do get to the point with all of them that I just want them done. And Gail and I are both get to that point. Like, we stitch on it several weeks together on Sundays. And then we just want it done. And so then we decide the next Sunday we're finishing. By next Sunday, or by the next Sunday, we're going to have one finished and start another one. So we finished this one last Sunday and started the eagle, which is the next one of ours. We did them a little out of order because if you haven't been around here, we did the reindeer, which was the last animal to be released before this one. because we wanted to do it in the winter time because that was a winter animal and we're kind of behind. So now we're on the spring. Appropriately enough, we're in spring. I am hoping that we can get all, actually I think these are, no, these are summer. Sorry, spring's already done. Spring's actually hanging behind me right there. It's the rabbit, the raccoon, and the ferret. Those are the spring ones. These are the summer ones. So we should have all 3 of these done before the end of the summer. I would think before that, probably, the way we crank them out now. And then we'll work on the fall ones. We have 5 left out of the 12. So there we go. He's pretty awesome. He's cute. Great stitch. And I think this is the first one that I stitched that has absolutely no errors in it. I'm getting better at them. So that's good too. Now, I started the eagle on here. I'm going to show you where I started it because my plan was to stitch all of them on this piece of fabric. I like the colors in the eagle. I don't really want to color swap anything out because I like the looks of the eagle as is. But look at this eagle. So this gray right here in the head, I don't think even in person, it's actually showing up better there than it does in person. In person it looks just like the fabric. And it's in the neck and in the tail. And I did not want that. I want it showing up, I guess. There is nothing on, let's go back to Mr. Bear here. There is nothing on this bear that doesn't show up. And that's kind of how I want those. So I had to switch fabrics. It's actually on the called for, but it's a different count. So we'll show you that shortly. Then I have, now everything's disheveled because this is take 2. Oh, and I also have to cut off the rest of this fabric and use it for other things. I don't plan on starting anything. I had a series of starts here recently, and I don't plan on starting anything now for quite some time. I've actually backed out of a sale that it's around Robin, that I was going to do just because, honestly, I can't get ready in time, and I did not want to hold other people up. And I didn't want to have another WIP on my board. I keep looking up here. I'll explain that to you if you're new here. But let's show you the other finish for now. This pattern is from Forbidden Fiber Co. It is called The Mandalorian. I don't have the pattern here with me. Sorry, I forgot to get it. But I'm pretty sure you can get it on our website. It is stitched. I bought this as a kit from her. It is stitched on the kit fabric, which was 36 count tumbleweed, dyed by Forbidden Fiber Co. And it came with a floss pack, also dyed by Forbidden Fiber Co. Why I'm struggling with words today, I have no idea. Anyway, I had this WIP in I started it probably almost a year ago. And what it was, I wish I could show it to you. It's a picture of Goguru, picture of the Mandalorian, and then the words, the Mandalorian, this is the way. And I couldn't figure out why I didn't want to stitch on it ever when I picked it up. Well, then I figured out I really didn't want the words. I just wanted Goguru and the Mandalorian. So I decided to stitch Goguru. And so he's finished. I will start the Mandalorian head at a different time and it'll count as a different start. But this pattern's finished for now. And I pulled it out of my WIPs and I finished it. Once I decided, sorry, I keep knocking the desk. Once I decided that that's what I wanted to do, he stitched up in like a couple evenings. Finished them. Even after a long clinical day. So I encourage you, and now I'm looking at a couple other WIPs differently now. So I have a magnetic board here with pictures of all my WIPs up there, and I move them to the right when they're finished. There are 2 WIPs on the board that I'm rethinking how I want to stitch them because I haven't stitched on them in a while, but I like the pattern. So what do I not like about the pattern that I don't want to stitch? And trying to re-engineer it like I did the Goguru and Mandalorian thing. Right? So I have 2 other patterns that I'm looking at. When I pull them back out and start working those plans and see if it works for me, I will let you know what they are. But yeah, I encourage you to look at your WIPs. If you have a lot of WIPs and there's ones that you just can't seem to pull out to work on, you should look at them differently. You should look at them differently. That's all I'm going to say. And you can follow along my brand of crazy with that. So that's my finish and my finish for now. I want to go into WIPs now. So let's start with, and I don't think I brought the picture in for this one either. Nope. I'm so unprepared today. So this is the Eagle by Cottage Garden Samplings. It is stitched on Valor by Picture This Plus with the called for threads. This is 32 count, so it is being stitched 2/2 full cross. And this is the called for the summer animals, and these colors show up just fine on here. And that's how far I've gotten so far today. So today I filled in the neck. I have filled in some of this with these little bobbles here. I've done all these bobbles here, finished all of these bobbles, and I'm still working. I may or may not work on this anymore today. I have other things that are calling to me and I'm feeling more like stitching, so this may go away for today. And sorry I don't have the picture for you today. But this is the Eagle by Cottage Garden Samplings. I'm enjoying it. And yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. The other WIP I have to show you is, this is my round robin that's not a round robin. This is Flosstube Friends that I'm participating with several Flosstubers. And right now Tamara from PD Stitcher picked this lady. And she picked teal. So let's show you where I'm at. I'm stitching this on a piece of 40 count Beach Brew by R&R. This character was picked by, just a reminder, by Corinne from Grace Notes Fabric. She picked purple. I stitched that with Pickled Beets from Classic Colorworks. And then Tamara chose this one and teals. So this is where I've gotten so far. You see I picked up the Pickled Beets and done the chevrons in the dress. And then they show, but they're not drastic in there. But it gives the dress some interest. And I'm stitching her dress with a floss that was gifted to me for my birthday from a stitchy friend. This is hand dyed by Rolanda. It says color A4. And I'll just, let me twist this up so you can see it. It's blues and greens. It's very pretty. Very pretty. I haven't gotten very far in filling in the dress. Another one of us will be called to pick on May 1st. I may or may not have that dress done by May 1st, but that's okay. It is what it is, you know? Stitching is stitching. It is what it is. I have one more WIP to show you. Let me pull out my... I should have pulled this out ahead of time. I am stitching one of my full coverage. So I had a moment, I have many moments really, that full coverage was calling to me. And I actually think I worked on another full coverage between the last time I saw you and now, but I did not bring it in, so I'm not going to show it. But it just hit me. I could have worked on another one. I am working on, the last one I pulled out was a stitching shelf. This is artwork by Amy Stewart, is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is regular size max color. Yep, regular size max color. It has 238 colors in it, and I am right up in this corner. And I keep going back and forth on how I want to stitch this, whether I want to go down and then across, or whether I just want to go across, and then I probably go down and then across. Just because I like the thought of changing your color scheme. If you notice, the top shelf has a lot of pinks, purples. But second shelf is a lot of greens. Third shelf is a lot of browns, tans, and oranges, and a little bit of red. And then we got a lot of blues in the bottom. So I do like the thought of getting, you know, to a section over here and then going down and stitching the vignette below it and below it and below it, and then just kind of working the shelves, maybe while they're in season. Do you know what I mean? This is the 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, winter. If you guys hadn't picked up, because honestly, I didn't pick up on that until very recently. I am stitching it on 28 count, easy guide, easy grid, whichever one it's called, and I'm stitching this 2/110 with the called for colors. So let me pull this out for you. I have it on the Q-snap, and what I've been doing is we've decided that I don't like parking, so I've been working in the threads. And look what that's got. So all of these are all my ends that I'm stitching over. But look at the doors are coming out here. There's a key that's coming into play here. This, I think, is a balloon that hangs out, and there's more of them down there. Absolutely loving this. This may come out again, because I'd love to get over here past the door and get this kind of all kind of filled in. This is the bottom of the shelf right in here. This is some greenery here. So my next plan, the next time I have this out, is to take these threads and work them in here. And you see the top, I have put some threads in and done some stitches all the way over there. So I'm kind of doing Amy's method. I've tried everybody else's method of working full coverage, and I find that my method works the best for me. And that's how that goes. So there's times when I want to park threads. I think my desire to park threads has to do with when I park some threads, then the next time I take it out, I can just sit and work the threads in. And I don't have to worry about finding colors and that stuff, because I don't kit things up like everybody else does. Yeah, but I would rather take a few threads and just work them in and get regular progress. So I'm trying, the full coverage has really been calling me lately. So I'm really trying to get noticeable progress on all my full coverages now, because otherwise they get neglected chasing all these other things. So that's kind of how it goes, right? Okay. The next thing I have to show you is my knitting. That's the end of my cross-stitch whips. My knitting. It's graduated to my big stitching with the Housewives bag, because the Afghan, if you remember, this is my Hue Shift Afghan. And this is a picture of it. This picture's starting to get crumply. This is a picture of it right here. I'm doing it in the Jewel Tone colorway. This is a kit from Knit Picks. And it's worked in sections. So, with different sections. There's 4 sections, and then they get sewn together. This is section 1 that I did. My goal on this is 2 squares a week. So this is one section that I completed. So that section's done. Oops. I'm trying to keep everything kind of organized. A little bit anyway. And this is section number 2 that I am working on now. And I always struggle with the best way to show you, because I've got another square started here. But it's just started, so it's kind of a mess. Here is section number 2 that I'm working on here. There's a square here on the bottom. And so far, I've been keeping up with my 2 squares a week. I have been taking it to work. I've been knitting on my lunch. I really would love to get this finished. My goal is this year, but if I can get it done ahead of time, that would be great. And get it off my knitting whips. for the same reason that I'd like to get my cross stitch whips down. That you say as I start new things. But I'm not going to start anything now. I'm done starting stuff. So the last thing I wanted to talk about today was I have one WIP that, again, I was looking at my WIPs. Why am I not working on them? What am I not liking about them? So I have one kit. It's a Mill Hill Buttons and Beads kit. It's from the Autumn series. It's called Tree of Life. And this is the kit I bought to see if I would like these and would I like to stitch them on perforated paper. And I have to tell you, the perforated paper has been a little bit of a challenge for me because I like to two-handed stitch, and I don't have like a wooden frame that I can tack this to, which would have been nice too. So what I did was I took a piece of my foam core board that I have for finishing cross stitch, and I cut out an opening. So now this is attached to here, and I can clamp this in my KZ Creation lap stand and two-hand stitch this. I'm hoping that's going to work, because I really want to two-hand stitch this. Hold on, I got something blowing around in here, I think. But yeah, I'd really like to two-hand stitch this, and I think if I can two-hand stitch it, I'd actually be able to get it done. So that's ready to go. That will sit next to my stitching chair, and if I so feel, I will start working on this. But yeah, it's kind of a cheap, easy solution. If anybody's struggling with perforated paper like I am, I just want to be able to clamp this in my stand and two-handed stitch on it. And I think this may do the trick. So we'll see. We'll see if that works. And that is all I have. I have no haul this week. I'm trying not to have haul. I have Stitch North coming up in early May. So I'll be going to that retreat. Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say. It's beautiful weather up here in upstate New York. We've had some 80-degree days. Today is beautiful. My husband's outside working. I'm going to be stitching on the deck and relaxing. And if I feel like it, maybe doing some grading or catching up on my master's stuff. I don't know. But I'm going to enjoy my day. Everybody, thanks for joining. If you're so inclined, please like, subscribe, and do all the things. I really appreciate any of the shout outs that I've gotten. And I honestly have not been watching a ton of Flosstube just because I have other things I need to focus on right now. And as the weather gets nicer, I tend to not watch as much anyway. I tend to be outside more. But everybody have a great Sunday. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.